I remember the first moment I knew I wanted to pursue music. I was about 7 years old in church. I'm a PK, a preacher's kid. So music was always around. And I remember it was a younger person playing the organ, and he went from the organ to the piano, and he played the piano even more beautifully than he did the organ. And I knew I wanted to play. I didn't know that I could sing because everyone told me my voice was still, a little girly. It wasn't really there yet. But I remember music affecting me that way, and it made it something that I knew I wanted to always do.
Yeah, I was an NPK, not a preacher's kid. NPK. So I didn't quite grow up in the church, My brother came in the house with a guitar, an acoustic guitar, and he was playing. I remember this little lick like.
That's beautiful.
Something that I couldn't figure.
Exactly.
And I was like, listening to it, and he played right-handed, and I was left-handed, and so I was trying to figure out what he was doing, and I spent all my time just trying to figure out how to play that little lick because it was just so cool to me. And once I started playing it, then it was really about me trying to write songs. I wanted to, because I was always falling in love, and I fell in love with this girl, and I wanted to write this song called Here I Go Falling in Love. And so I was trying to figure out chords. And so it was really about kind of love, I guess, and love and music. They kind of work together really well. So I started writing sad songs in sixth grade. From
Sixth grade?
Yeah, sixth grade. So about 12 years old. Initially, the very first guitar that I had, I got it in eighth grade. And it was an electric guitar. No name, no real name. And I had to share it with my brother Michael, who was, Michael was in 10th grade, I was in 8th grade, and so I didn't get it as much because Michael joined the band, and so he took the guitar and left it at practice all the time. So I had to fight for it. So I was borrowing people's guitars most of the time until my sophomore year. My mom got me this acoustic guitar, the Crestwood, that I still have today. And I pulled it out a couple of years ago, and it actually sounds really good. So I kind of use it now in the studio every now and then. But that was, I went through a number of, from Martins to Taylors to Epiphones, and going through a lot of different acoustic guitars.
Music for me, it can transcend me to any moment in life. When I think of even if I hear a song on the radio, like I loved Michael McDonald when I was a kid, probably because I could sing like him. And I remember when I first heard him, he was playing the Rose, he was playing the piano, like, oh my God, I want to play like that. And it made me know that I wanted to be a performer, and the feeling I got was powerful. I was kind of a country little kid, very religious, wore dresses all the time. So I was a kid, was definitely not in the A group, ever. And when I played the piano and I performed and sung, it made me feel like I belonged, like I was part of something even bigger than that clique I thought I wanted to be a part of.
I think you touched on something there. Music is the one thing that can, from listening to it, it can take you anywhere, at any place and any time. Something that you can hear, and suddenly you can be in the room with your mom, with your dad, your grandparents. It takes you, it's kind of like the sense of, if you smell something sometimes, and it'll take you back, it'll give you a memory, and looking at a picture. But music is the one thing that you can have your eyes closed and not smell anything, but you hear it, and it can take you right back to that moment. So it's all kind of moments that it can take you to, everything. So whether your heart was broke, or whether you were crazy in love, or whether you were laughing, whether you were dancing, it's a very powerful instrument. And I think it just allows you to kind of go wherever and be whoever you want to be. Even in writing the music, and when you're writing for other people and trying to imagine who they are and how they feel, it allows you to go different places, and it's kind of like acting to a certain extent. You know how method acting, how some actors can just, they become a total different person and they get totally into that. Well, when you're writing and playing an instrument, you're allowed to do that, and I think it's a great feeling.
It makes me feel all those things I wanted to be. I'm short, so I have height envy, so it definitely made me feel taller. I felt 5'6" when I'm performing, you know, and when I have the microphone and I just get to try things my way and figure out how to connect with the audience, that's the greatest mystery, the most powerful enigma of all of them to me. Well, I was going through I like to say, a dark period in my life. I hate to call it a dark period, but it was not my brightest moment. And I was going to be done with the music business. I was going to retire. I was definite about it. I had fallen out of love with it, which is the irony of all that. But I wasn't going to do it anymore. Going to hang up, put my microphone up, and close the door forever. And a dear friend of mine, Babyface, called me up. He heard, how did you find out about that?
Your sister?
Anyway, my sister, Trader. My sister called him up and said, you have to talk to Toni. She's thinking about retirement, and you can't let her do it. And he called me and said, Toni, it's not time. Everyone goes through this phase. Even with something you loved so much as music, you don't know that you still love it. And you're just angry at yourself, but you got to forgive yourself and get back to the artistry. Don't care about selling a record. Don't care about the business of it. Just get back to the artistry and performing and doing what you love doing. And because of his words and other people who reached out to me, like Anita Baker, Madonna even, Missy Elliott, so many great artists, it encouraged me to think twice about it. And once I got in the studio with him as a sample, I fell hopelessly in love again. So here I am.
It's about passion. It's about listening to music, listening to all kinds of music.
I agree with that.
And becoming passionate about it. And first, just loving music. What happens to a lot of people, they get into the business of music. And that's not why we're here. We're here for the spirit of music and what music makes you feel like and makes other people feel. Michael Jackson always used to say to me, every time I would sit with him, he goes, don't you love music? I say, yeah, no. Don't you love it? Don't you just love it? Isn't it like the best thing in the world? And that's where his heart was all the time. That's what made him, he always wanted to be the biggest and the best. But behind all that, it was his love for music and what it does for you. And this is like, it's the funnest thing in the world.
It is.
The fact to be able, this is what we do. This is our job. This is, and the fact that you can have, that it can be a business. That's what a blessing that is. So, and music, the other part of it is that when you go out into the world and then you see how many people that you touch with your music, and you hear stories how people got through things, got through points in their life because of a song that they heard, that you wrote. Well, so it becomes an extension of yourself. Almost becomes a responsibility to do the best that you can do so that you can touch other people and raise their spirits.